Daytona 200 preview and qualifying show. Hello again, everybody. I'm Marty Reed, alongside the man who sat on the pole in 1990 here at the Daytona 200. Finished third twice, Thomas Stevens. Good to see you again, Thomas.
Thanks, Marty.
Before we get started, we probably should point out that normally when you see Winston Cup qualifying or the Kart FedEx Championship Series here on ESPN or ESPN2, you know we show a lot of cars out on the track, talk to the drivers. We will get to talk to the riders. We will show you what's going on in qualifying. But we also want to use this hour to preview the 2000 season because literally, Thomas, since the finale at Pikes Peak last year, a countless number of changes. You really do need a program just to keep up.
True, Marty, and there's been really two big changes. I think the two biggest ones is the Kawasaki team going in-house, and the other is the debut of the new Honda RC51.
One of the riders on that, the RC51, the youngster, Nicky Hayden, one of the fresh new faces in Superbike.
No doubt about it, Nicky Hayden, he's a fresh face in Superbike, reigning 600cc Supersport champion. So Nicky has a lot to prove coming into the Superbike class, and I think he's going to do really well. One
of the other newcomers is Troy Bayliss. He comes over after winning the British Superbike Championship. Say British Superbike 3 times real fast, and he'll trip up as much as I do. But he's looked very impressive on the Vance and Hines Ducati.
Well, Troy has, and he knows how to win championships, obviously. So coming into Daytona, we expect really big things out of him, and he's shown a lot of speed so far.
Before we look ahead to 2000, though, maybe we should probably go back and take a look at what happened in 1999, because Matt Mladin won the championship, but he just missed winning the Daytona 200.
Driving out behind Miguel. Let's see now what Miguel has in store for Matt Mladin.
The infield is done for the final time. The chicane is behind them. It is pin the throttle, tuck your chin down on the tank, and pick your line as they come through NASCAR 3 and 4 and head for the tri-oval area. 17 is Duhamel, 66 is Mladin. The crowd is on its feet. He's going to try the high side is Mladin, but he will not get it done as Miguel Duhamel picks up his second victory of Daytona Bike Week, his third win in the Daytona 200.
The second closest finish in the 58 prior runnings of this classic event here at the Daytona 200. Miguel Duhamel holding off Matt Mladin. And Matt, of course, has had one full year to concentrate, think about, ponder what might have been. Let's find out from the third member of our broadcast team today what Matt Mladin is really thinking about going into this year's Daytona 200. Let's go to Dave Reef.
Well, thanks, Marty. Indeed, Miguel Duhamel did win the battle a year ago, but this man won the war, grabbing the series championship. And man, as you look back, though, it was a perfect season, with the exception of that Daytona. Would you like to have that back?
Oh, you know, there's no looking back, and you know, you really can't go back to that. But definitely we're here for the 2000 season, and Daytona's the first race. And, you know, the Yoshimura Suzuki GSXR 750 is running great, and, you know, everything's looking good for us at the moment. This afternoon we have qualifying, and Sunday will be a big day, and it's definitely one we're looking at winning.
Let's go back to a year ago, coming off the final turn, off the high banks. What's going on in your mind, and take me through that last lap?
Well, you know, I raced with Miguel for the whole 200 miles, so I sort of knew what Miguel had, and he knew what I had as well, and Miguel's been around a long time, as we know. And, you know, last year we just didn't, to tell you the truth, I just didn't get the bike running as well as what we should have, and we were a little bit down on speed, and that's where Miguel got us. But like I said, this year the Suzuki's running great, and, you know, looking forward to this Sunday.
Now you transition to this year. What would winning the Daytona 200 mean to you? I know you come from Australia. It may not be the biggest race for you, but it is to the Americas. Would you like to win it?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I like to win any race I can, but, you know, this is, like I've said on a number of interviews before, this is a big race, especially in the American culture. It's something that's very well known over here. A lot of great riders have won this race, and I'd love to be on that list. There's no doubt about it. It's, you know, as much as it's our first race of the championship, and you don't want to do anything silly because, you know, it's a really big jump into the championship. It's one that we definitely would like to win, and you know, like I said before, my whole Yoshimura Suzuki crew and we've got the bike running well, and we're looking forward to it.
Good luck to you, man.
Thanks, bud.
He's been the top of the speed charts all week long, and I guarantee you one thing, Marty, come the end of 57 laps on Sunday, if this guy stays out of trouble, he's going to be near the front.
Well, stay with us. When we come back, we'll start our preview of all of the major factory teams in this year's running of the Daytona 200.
The styling of the Vulcan 1500 Drifter takes you back to another time. The engineering, make sure you don't get stuck there. Vulcan, only from Kawasaki.
added up all the hours you've spent boring out cylinders, building strokers, and setting up suspension, you'd have graduated from MMI by now, and you'd be getting paid for doing what you love. Call 1-800-994-3664 to find out how you can become one of the best technicians in the world. Motorcycle Mechanics Institute.
On Honda Valkyries and Goldwings. Low payments on Valkyrie, Shadows, and Magnas with the Honda card. It's the road to savings. Incredible deals on some incredible Hondas. So hurry to your Honda dealer during the road to savings.
Daytona Bike Week is brought to you by Kawasaki Motorcycles. Let the good times roll. And by Honda Motorcycles. Get great deals on customs and gold wings during the road to savings.
Welcome back to our Daytona 200 preview and qualifying show. And you know the 200 has been reinstated as the opening round of the AMA Superbike schedule. And that's similar to the way NASCAR Winston Cup begins with its biggest race of the season. And the man who's synonymous with the 200 is Mr. Daytona himself, Scott Russell. He's on the Harley-Davidson again, and he has a lot of making up to do for last year's disaster where he never even took the green flag. The Harley-Davidson team looks a lot like they did in 1999. Returning is five-time Daytona 200 winner Scott Russell, as well as Canadian Pascal Picotte, who signed a new multi-year deal to race the VR1000.
Don't believe that I'm going to sit on my ass and, and just collect my money. Because, first of all, there's always some clause in the contract, performance clauses, so you can't just sit out there and just collect your money, and it's not my type, and it's not what I want to do. If I'm there, I think I'm just going to quit. I'm just there because I love the sport, and I love my job, and it's a good challenge, and we'll get there.
Behind the scenes, Ford Motor Corporation has come on board to inject millions of dollars to help along the fledgling race program for the next 5 years, and the riders know where they want to see the money go.
It would definitely make my life a lot easier if I could have more horsepower, because some racetrack, we're definitely behind those guys. Some racetrack last year, we were like 11 miles an hour slower. So how can you compensate? You just can't battle with those guys. Sometimes you can be in the fight, but you can't win the battle. You just can't.
I don't think I bring that much to this party, really. I've done a lot of good things on a lot of other bikes, but, when it comes down to designing and developing a motorcycle, that's not my job. I'm a rider. I can tell you what it's doing and what it isn't doing, and these guys, it's up to them to go to the drawing board and come up with something that's going to work. So, of course, I think my input last year pointed them, like I said, in a direction that they felt like they may have been going the wrong way, and now they think they're heading in the right way. So I think me coming here may have helped one little thing. And at the end of this 2 years, if I've done one thing good for the team, I guess I've done something. So I try to be happy with that.
Before last year's Daytona 200, Scott Russell was involved in a barroom brawl at a local watering hole and did not compete in the race.
There's just nothing left for me to do down there except winning again, and to go down there and lose or not make a good showing is the last thing that I want to do. So what happened last year was a terrible thing, but it was almost better than me being out there finishing 10th or something.
Can Mr. Daytona come here as the underdog on the Harley and do the unthinkable by winning an unprecedented 6th 200? Even Russell has his doubts.
I don't think they put the emphasis that they should on Daytona, because they don't feel like that maybe they were in a position, you know what I'm saying? So they kind of go like, okay, Daytona's just one race in a 12-race series, and let's just get through it. And, I've always gone down there with other things in mind, so it's a difficult thing for me to go down there like that. But They're paying the bills. They're paying the bills, and I'm doing whatever has to be done.
Winning the Daytona 200 is definitely a long shot for the Harley squad, but with the influx of cash, the riders hope that better results are just around the corner.
I just wish to be here in Daytona in next March and have the fastest bike out there and the easiest bike to ride, you know, but I know it's not that way in racing. You just got to keep working. You know, the harder you work, the better it should be. So I cross my finger. I got faith in my guys and faith on Harley-Davidson, and I think we're going to get there.
Well, quite possibly the hardest working team in the offseason were the boys at Harley-Davidson as they look to improve the VR1000 for the year 2000. And you guys think you've come up with it, haven't you, Steve Scheibe? Testing, you found something.
Yes, Dave, we did. With the addition of Scott Russell last year and his expertise that he brings with it, in addition to Pascal Picotte's comments, we've come up with some areas that we see need improvement. And we worked long and hard during the end of last season and going into this season to come up with some changes in the swing arm suspension, which resulted in changes in the exhaust system and quite a few other things. And in testing this winter, right away we recognized the improvements we were expecting, and so we were happy with that. Coming down here, we noticed the same improvements. So from a chassis point of view, things have moved forward a lot. Unfortunately, in doing that, we put the engine on the back burner, and coming down to Daytona, you need some horsepower. And it's going to show that we're down a little bit of speed, but we knew coming down here that was going to be a little bit tough from the speed aspect, and we're going to do what we can to get through it and get back to work on the engine. And the rest of the season, we look forward to some improved results.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
One thing Harley-Davidson definitely looking forward to the entire season, not just the race here at the Daytona 200. They're looking at the long haul.
A bit surprising to hear Steve Scheibe admit that he's down on horsepower, and if you're reading between the lines, he's saying we really don't have a chance to win this race. You rode here 6 times. What's that do mentally to your psyche?
Well, it's tough on a rider coming into the Daytona 200 knowing that the team hasn't done their work in the off-season as far as engine development program. Harley's a very, well-funded team, Marty, and I'm surprised to hear that come out of Steve Scheibe.
Well, the one thing that is certain, Scott Russell will not be spending the night prior to the race in any of the local establishments getting his brains rearranged and to the point where he can't even put a helmet on. That was an embarrassment last year. He's just hoping that the bike doesn't embarrass him this year on the track.
Well, we all know the potential of Scott Russell. I mean, 5-time Daytona winner. The guy can win the race if he has the motorcycle. So it's just, we'll have to see. Hopefully Scott wants to finish, and then maybe later in the year, as Steve Scheibe said, the engine development program will come along, and maybe Scott will have a chance at winning the championship.
Well, stay with us. When we come back, we'll take a look at the men in blue, Yamaha. We'll preview their 2000 campaign right after this.
It's got more dogs, more breeds, more events than any other dog show on TV. 3 nights of coverage from England, over 25,000 dogs and 185 breeds, all competing for the top title in dogdom. Crufts 2000 continues tonight at 8, only on Animal Planet.
And 6, feel the burn, and 7, and up.
If you're not reeling in the big ones like these, you need some In-Fisherman television. Tips that will have you catching fish like the pros, and destinations that will have you packing your bags. It's all on In-Fisherman television. Brought to you by Chevrolet. Weekends on TNN Outdoors. Whether you're beginning a weekend getaway or finishing a weekend project, Silverado is built to get things done. Hook, line, and sinker. Silverado, the truck from Chevrolet.
Daytona Bike Week brought to you by Yamaha, makers of the new line of Bear ATVs. Yamaha, because out here, bears rule.
Welcome back to our Daytona 200 preview and qualifying show, and we turn our attention now to Yamaha. The blue and white team has won here more than any other manufacturer, a total of 18 times. But for 1999, they had 3 riders. They've scaled back in the year 2000.
The biggest change for the Yamaha team was the decision to drop Rich Oliver and go with only 2 riders in 2000, Jamie Hacking and Tommy Hayden.
We're going to miss Rich being around, Rich is a good guy, but I think the team's going to be a lot closer, and I think that's what this team needs to be brought together to make it a full package, tighter team.
It's all pros. I mean, we lost a rider and pretty much kept all the same team, so, we have more help. Everybody seems more focused.
Having used last season to develop the new R7, both riders feel more confident about the upcoming year.
I'm just being patient with the whole program, and help develop this bike with these guys, and hopefully we'll win a championship with it before long. And but as far as help goes for next year, we're getting a lot of help for this bike. I'm just real excited. Like we got a lot of people here from Japan and a lot of motor work stuff, so I'm happy.
Right now, we're just trying a lot of different stuff, trying different things, and they're doing a lot of work on the dyno, stuff like that. But it's definitely taking big steps in the R7, and it gets better every time we go out. So I'm really excited about that.
With the bike progressing nicely, Hacking has focused his attention on staying upright this season.
Jamie Hacking from the year 2000 is going to be a different person, one thing. It's going to be a little bit more focused, a little bit more calmer rider than I was last year. Maybe cut out some of the falling down. Knock off a little bit of the aggression that I've got, You're going to see some different things come out of me for next year to win some championships, that's for definite.
The title is the ultimate goal, but all riders and teams want one win on their resume.
I definitely want to win Daytona. I mean, it's the biggest race of the year, and I'm going to be putting a lot of effort into it. I definitely feel like the team's going to be ready, and I know that I'll be ready. I'm going to be training hard all winter, getting ready for that. And it's a long race, anything can happen. I'm just going to try to be consistent and just try to be there at the end. It's going to be tough, but I think we got a good chance.
It's a big race for me and for Yamaha in 2000 to win the 200.
Well, you heard Jamie Hacking say that his #1 goal was to stay upright more often, not fall off. Unfortunately, he wasn't very successful, Thomas.
No, unfortunately, he wasn't. He fell off in the first practice session, so that really kind of hurts him a little bit, because obviously in his interview he really wants to stay up and do a good job for Yamaha.
Well, and the other thing that it does, it sets the team back, because now they're playing catch-up all weekend.
Well, yeah, of course, and they lose that practice session, so it sets you back a little bit. And more so on the rider's side, mentally it beats you up, because, obviously he really wants to stay on 2 wheels and do a great job for Yamaha, but he's fallen off already.
Well, and it's also shown in one other area. They have great horsepower, but they're having trouble getting it to the track.
True. Right now the Yamaha guys are fighting grip, and I've seen them in the pits. They're changing some linkages, really fighting the new Yamaha R7 to try to get some grip out of the thing.
Well, down in the pits, Dave Reef caught up with the man responsible for that R7. Let's find out what he's found out.
It was halfway through the season that Yamaha debuted the new R7, so when they come here to Daytona, it's not exactly a new bike, but it's new to this racetrack, isn't it, Tom Houseworth?
Yeah, we've never raced the R7 here. This will be the first race for it at Daytona. We raced it from mid-year at Atlanta last year through the end of the season with some pretty good results, but we still had some teething problems. Hopefully we've got those all cleared up for this weekend.
You guys obviously have had a chance to do some testing and then running here early. Do you like the Yamaha so far?
Yeah, it's been real good. It was a little cool in the December tire test. It's a little hotter this weekend so far, so a lot of stuff we did is not exactly right, but we're coming along.
So with a relatively new bike here at Daytona, then what's the expectation?
Oh, Yamaha wants to win.
Can it be done?
Well, we're going to try.
All righty, good luck to you, Tommy.
Thanks.
That's the Yamaha camp.
Thanks, Dave. When we come back, we'll check in on American Honda. Something old and something new. Stay with us.
The road is calling. So's the boulevard, the street. And your Honda dealer's got what you need to answer them. Honda Shadows with incredibly low monthly payments and no down payment. Like the Shadow Spirit, just $129 a month. It's the road to savings, and it's going on right now at your Honda dealer. Answer the call.
Remember back when it didn't cost a lot to be the coolest kid on 2 wheels? Well, those days are back. For a limited time, get a Yamaha V-Star from just $89 a month. It's the Yamaha Turn Back Time sales event. So see your Yamaha dealer today, because you won't find a deal this attractive anywhere else.
Two tough teams fight to secure a playoff berth as Paul Correa and the Mighty Ducks take on Peter Forsberg and the Avalanche. Get inside the game with NHL rules as ESPN brings you a better way to watch hockey. It's an interactive television experience that you won't want to miss. With more cameras, more analysis, new on-ice mics, and live online chats, NHL Rules gives hockey a whole new dimension. Join us for this special NHL Rules broadcast, Tuesday at 8 on ESPN and ESPN.com.
Welcome back to our Daytona 200 preview and qualifying show, and we focus now on American Honda. The one constant is Miguel Duhamel. What a spectacular ride last year to win the 200 despite coming off that broken leg. He could barely walk around the pits. But there's been a number of changes, not to mention just behind the scenes on the crew with some new staff coming over, but also on the machine itself, the debut of the 1000cc RC51. Here's the Honda close-up.
The offseason was a busy one for the Honda Superbike team. Gone are longtime tuners Al Ludington and Joey Lombardo, as well as rider Eric Bostrom. All are off to the factory Kawasaki effort. Moving up to the A-team is 600 Supersport champion Nicky Hayden. The 18-year-old teams up with Miguel Duhamel.
Every teammate I had pushed me pretty hard, and I think this will be maybe my greatest challenge with Nicky. I think that he's going to push it really hard on the twin and on the 600. Well, of course I feel pressure, but a lot of the pressure I put on myself. You know, I want to do good just for myself and for the team, but they haven't put any pressure on me.
Rounding out the Superbike roster in a handful of races will be Formula Extreme champion Curtis Roberts. Despite a lack of experience on the Superbikes, the youngest son of road racing legend King Kenny and the brother of World GP superstar Kenny Jr., the 19-year-old is looking forward to following his bloodlines onto the bigger bikes.
You know, it's the same thing my dad had and the same thing little Kenny had. We're just better on big bikes. That's what we've grown up doing, is basically training ourselves for the bigger motorcycles. My dad knew all along what's going to happen because, you know, same thing happened with little Kenny. I can ride a big bike. It's real comfortable. I can slide the thing. I can flick it in and just do everything I want to do on the thing.
The biggest change wasn't the lineup card, but on the tech sheets as Honda retires the race-proven RC45 in favor of the all-new V-twin RC51.
Sometimes when you get a new model, you're hoping to be competitive before the year's end, but with this bike, I think that we're really thinking about, having a shot at winning Daytona and also, being obviously really competitive on these small, tight, twisty tracks. The bike handles really good. It steers well, and it's got a lot of grunt out of the corner, which is important for these tight, twisty tracks we have here.
While Duhamel is already talking about winning back-to-back Daytona 200s and possibly his first Superbike title since '95, his teammate Nicky Hayden was less confident about breaking in a new machine. And if laying it down his first time out was any indication, the learning curve will be steep.
I know it's going to take some time to get used to it, and yeah, I'm nervous about riding it and stuff. But I think once I get comfortable on it, once I get to that point, I'll be okay. I'm not that good at all as far as setup and stuff goes. That's one of the biggest things I think I need to work on, is just giving the mechanics feedback and feeling the changes, good or bad or whatever.
So with Hayden's lack of setup knowledge and Robert set to ride the RC45 in his Superbike races, it looks like Duhamel will be left to get the RC51 up to race speed. But the 31-year-old is excited about his mission this upcoming season.
It's fun. It's fun. It brings a new challenge for the whole team and for ourselves, and having a bike that works so good like that. Now we're starting. The bar's already set pretty high to where the Honda RC51 is starting at. That we can only dream of great things to come from Honda.
Ray Plum, crew chiefs the Honda efforts here at the Daytona 200 this year, and as you just heard, they've got a brand new motorcycle in the RC51. How's the new machine coming along?
Just fine. It's had a lot of good development so far, and we're looking to a very good season with it.
How have the riders felt about it? They feel comfortable?
Yeah, they felt comfortable right out of the box with it, and I think that they're going to be more comfortable with more laps on it.
Start talking about riders. You bring up three-time champion Miguel Duhamel. Can he do it again?
Of course he can do it. Yeah, I've got a lot of confidence in Miguel. He's a veteran. He's been there before. He knows what to do, and he's patient when it comes to the Daytona 200.
And you guys have a little in-house rivalry with Nicky Hayden. That kid thinks he can do anything.
At this point, I think he can. He's an ex-dirt tracker, converted to road racing, and he's very well poised. He's ready to go.
What's it going to take for you guys to win?
I think we just have to keep working on our setup and just keep going lap after lap until we reach the finish line.
And don't forget about that race and luck.
That's right. Thanks.
Good luck to you, Ray.
Thank you.
You heard Ray Plum talk about the fact he thinks Nicky Hayden can do just about anything. Well, the youngster from Owensboro, Kentucky, has actually been running quicker than his older and more experienced counterpart, Miguel Duhamel.
True. So far, Nicky Hayden's been doing a really good job on the Honda RC51, and we'll just have to see how it goes. Like he said, he's really poised. He's only 18 years old, and I expect really big things out of him.
Well, we should also point out Miguel somehow, in the first round of practice, managed to come up with a pinched nerve, so he is not 100% again.
True. I talked to Gary Mathers about that, and Gary said that he hit something out on the track. He wouldn't allude to what, and he just said that somehow Miguel pinched a nerve in his neck, and he's just been in pain, and obviously it's put him behind a little bit.
Well, when we come back, we'll focus on Team Green, Kawasaki, and Rob Muzzy is no longer the man in charge of the program. Stay with us.
Anxiously awaited sport bike ever made. The Ninja ZX-12R.
It possesses a passion inspired by the world's fastest Falcon. And a history that could only come from Suzuki. Introducing the incredible GSX 1300R Hayabusa, the largest displacement sport bike Suzuki has ever built. It's proof you don't need wings to fly.
The Pepsi 400 at Daytona International Speedway is NASCAR's 4th of July racing spectacular. Make your plans now to be at the world center of racing. Winston Cup champion Dale Jarrett will defend his Pepsi 400 title, but he'll have to beat Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, and the rest of NASCAR's best. For tickets, call 904-253-RACE or visit our website, The Pepsi 400, Saturday night, July 1st.
Championship week rocks into Saturday. 2 big conferences, 2 big finals. Who will claim the crown in a Saturday night special? The A10 Championship at 6, the Mountain West Championship at 10. Championship week presented by 7-Up continues tonight on ESPN.
Talk about major changes. Look no further than Team Green at Kawasaki as we continue our Daytona 200 preview and qualifying. Rob Muzzy is no longer the man at the top. The program has been taken back in-house by Kawasaki, and a lot of changes have taken place. The one constant has been Doug Chandler, and he's been reunited with one of his former crew chiefs.
With Rob Muzzy out of the picture, the first order of business for the factory was to find a team manager. That honor went to Mike Preston.
No, I'm not from the road racing community. I do have a motorcycle background. I've been with Kawasaki's research and development department and product testing for 19 years, so I think a lot of it will relay, especially the testing.
Preston may lack experience, but his early season moves were good ones as he hired ex-Honda tuners Al Ludington and Joey Lombardo. Also rejoining the team is Gary Medley, who was instrumental in helping Doug Chandler win his titles.
I think overall everybody was optimistic and excited about the new opportunities that Kawasaki can provide for them. So I think by interviewing everybody and selecting the prime few, I think we've built a very good team.
While so much has changed, one constant remains. 3-time series champion Doug Chandler stayed on with the team.
You just want to go with your gut feeling as far as what's going to provide you the best equipment and possibility, or, you know, as far as the team goes, to try to win another championship and win some races. And, you know, I just felt this was the best place for me to go. You know, I kind of feel it's my home, and that's kind of what I want to do, is finish it out here and try to stay involved, you know, some way or another with the racing at Kawasaki.
The 34-year-old will again mount the tried-and-true ZX-7, a bike that's brought him titles and race wins except for one, the Daytona 200.
We haven't quite had a good package yet to where everything's come together for us. I mean, we've won a number of races here, but I've never won, you know, the 200 Superbike race. And hopefully we can accomplish that before I decide to pack it in.
Joining Chandler is Eric Bostrom, who moves from Honda. Last year at this time, the younger brother of the 98 title winner, Ben Bostrom, was dubbed the one to watch. But a crash at Daytona left the 22-year-old rider struggling to regain his confidence.
I crashed the bike and didn't really know why I crashed it a few times, and that kind of plays with your mind a little bit. But I feel like I'm beyond that, you know, and I definitely the Kawasaki's got a ton of feel on the track, and I really like it. It suits my style better. So I think you know, a fresh start is what I need.
Another change for Eric is that his brother and best friend will be racing in Europe, splitting the two for the first time in their lives.
It's kind of getting used to a new thing. It's definitely going to be tougher, you know. I mean, but all the same, it can be better, too. So I'm just really happy for Ben.
As Kawasaki moves in a new direction, the riders, mechanics, and team manager know they have to put up results quickly in order to outrun the Muzzy factor.
Rob Muzzy's a legend, as well as everybody knows. If you're not changing and racing, you're not going to be ahead. So what Team Kawasaki did was made some change. And we're not trying to make any comparison to Rob, except to try to continue his winning ways and bring some more championships for Kawasaki.
Well, with all the changes going on inside Team Green, you'd think these guys might be struggling, but in fact, you guys have had a pretty good week of it so far, haven't you?
So far, out of the box, we've been doing pretty good. You know, it's a little bit early, but Team Kawasaki with Eric Bostrom and Doug Chandler posted some pretty good times in practice.
How have you adjusted to your new role as team manager?
We'll have to wait till the weekend's out and see how our results are, but so far, everything's going real smooth for us.
Better than maybe you expected, you think, at this point?
I don't think any better than expected. We got a really good team. The staff that we have on the team makes it. So it's really made my job really easy.
How about those tuners, Al Lungington and Joey Lombardo?
Al and Joey doing real good. Gary and Nick, all the guys, just excellent. Like I say, it's the staff that's making the team go. You know, with the riders, you know, they're putting the Kawasaki right out there.
I'll tell you what, Team Green has been very, very awesome so far. Will they win the Daytona 200? We don't know, but Kawasaki will look for its first since Scott Russell did it back in 1995.
Looking a little deeper into this Kawasaki story, normally it takes a ton of time for all these kinds of new faces and personalities to gel. How long will it really take Kawasaki?
Well, Mike Preston's done a great job. He's hired Al Ludington and Gary Medley. They have a ton of experience, so I don't think it's going to take them very long to gel at all.
So you would be very optimistic, shall we say, that they could pull this out and Chandler could win his first Daytona 200?
Well, I know that Doug Chandler has vast experience too, and he's the constant in the team. You know, one thing about Doug Chandler you have to remember, though, Doug Chandler rides a Daytona 200 with one eye on the championship and one eye on winning the Daytona 200. So if push comes to shove, I think Doug Chandler would rather finish the race, take the points, and get out of here, and not risk the championship.
Well, you mentioned the championship chase. 8 out of 9 years, he has finished no lower than 5th. So you can imagine he does keep an eye on that total on the point scoreboard. When we come back, we'll take a look at the Vance and Hines Ducati effort. Stay with us.
Styling of the Vulcan 1500 Drifter takes you back to another time. The engineering, make sure you don't get stuck there. Vulcan, only from Kawasaki.
The rumble of a big V-twin makes your blood race. You grew up on the pegs of a dirt bike. You could smell a carb running rich from a mile away. Call 1-800-994-3664 to find out how you can become one of the best technicians in the world. Motorcycle Mechanics Institute.
Hello, I'm Mark John Jeffers, and I'm here to talk with you about People PC.
What is People PC, you ask?
It's simple. 1, a new brand name PC replaced every 3 years. 2, unlimited internet. 3, in-home service. Yep, if all else fails, they come to you. 4, great deals on stuff you like from places you know. All for $24.95 a month. That's it. Let's review. For about the cost of internet service alone over here, you get unlimited internet, a new computer, in-home service, and great deals over here. All for $24.95 a month. How? Strength in numbers, my friends. Folks, I'm Mark John Jeffries for our People PC. Thank you, and God bless.
Daytona Bike Week brought to you by Yamaha, makers of the new line of Bear ATVs. Yamaha, because out here, bears rule. Welcome back to our Daytona 200 preview and qualifying show. And as we look at Team Ducati, no other squad has gone through a more major shakeup when it comes to the rider lineup. Gone are Ben Bostrom and Anthony Gobert. They're overseas running World Superbikes. In comes Troy Bayliss, who won the British Superbike Championship last year, and Steve Rapp. But all week so far here at Bike Week, they have been going very fast. Troy Bayliss comes stateside after winning the British Superbike title last year, and the Australian is looking forward to racing in the U.S.
Yeah, no, I'm confident I can be competitive, and you know, everyone wants to win, and no one's going to push me harder than myself.
Bayliss joins a long list of Aussies to compete in the American Series, including the rider he replaced, Anthony Wild Child Gobert. But while his off-the-track activities don't fall under Gobert's wild label, Bayliss's on-the-track style does.
Yeah, a few people say I'm a bit wild, a bit rough, but I've been trying to smooth myself out over the last few years, and since I've been on the Ducati, you've got to ride them quite smooth, and I think I'm heading in the smooth direction. Not too smooth, you know, but I'm heading in that direction.
Joining Bayliss is former Suzuki pilot Steve Rapp, who moves from the inline V4 to the Italian Ducati Twin.
My riding style has always been on an inline four-cylinder, never been on a V-twin other than the 2 times I rode here, and I don't think one's better than the other necessarily. It's just if you can adapt to either one better. So I think it'll be okay.
Since Ducati does not compete in the 600 Supersport Series, Rapp's going to have to get used to less track time. But the 27-year-old feels riding one class will be an advantage.
Personally, for me, I think it was more of a hindrance than a help. I think this way you concentrate on one bike, same tire, constantly focusing on one thing all the time. I can't see it being bad.
Unlike Rapp, Bayliss has never raced in America, but his championship last year was aboard the Ducati, so his learning curve in dealing with the mid-range power of the bike should not be a steep one at all.
You've got to have a pretty good setup for them, really, to be, you know, they're good off the turns, that's where they come into their own, but if you haven't got it set up right, well, it's gonna make it hard for yourself. So you've got to have a good setup, you've got to try and ride it smooth, and they are a nice thing to ride, though. I'm really happy to be there on it.
His first race is going to be tough, the Daytona 200, and the 30-year-old knows he has his work cut out for him.
It's just a really difficult race, and I've got a lot of things to learn. There's some smart guys out there. So, you know, I just go out there and feel my way around.
Rapp, on the other hand, finished 5th in the 200 last year, and the Californian's looking forward to making Ducati history.
I'd like to be the first one to win the Daytona 200 on a Ducati. If you can come here with a good bike, a fast bike, get on the banking, and you're in shape, I think anything's possible.
Nobody questions Vance and Hines Ducati's power. That is the one thing we do know about. But Jim Leonard, the one question mark may be the fact that you've got a sprint bike that needs to go here for an endurance race. Can you make the 200?
I think we can. We've taken some extraordinary measures to prepare for this. We've been planning for this since '97, even though we didn't compete here in '97. So I think it's our best chance ever. Even though we've got 2 riders that don't have a lot of miles around here on a superbike, I think this is our best shot at it.
That's my next question. You replace a couple of the sport's best. Now Troy Bayliss, Steve Rapp come to the fold. How do you like your riders?
Well, they're both good guys, hard-working, and we've needed that because we've been working them hard. Learning curve has been pretty much straight up, but they're coming along. We saw Troy did really fast times here in December. Granted, that's not the same as making a tire live for 23 laps, but we're working on that part now. Steve's coming along. He's chipping away at it, so I think we're looking good.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Jim Leonard likes his chances at winning the first Daytona 200 for Vance and Hines Ducati.
Well, without a doubt, the guy who has caught our eyes and attention of almost everybody here has been Troy Bayliss. He's been quick all week.
Yeah, Troy's done a great job so far. He went really well in testing here in December, and so far so good coming in qualifying.
Why would he be able to adapt so quickly to a track like Daytona?
Well, the thing is, he has a lot of experience on the Ducati, so that's already a given for him. So all he has to really work on is learning the racetrack. Daytona's not a hard track to learn as far as the layout, but it is a very hard track to go fast on.
The one thing he has to learn is how to save that back tire. What about the jinx? I mean, Ducati, we talked about it. They can go fast, but can they go for the 200?
Well, that's the big question, and I guess, if you're a bet man, you'd probably have to bet against them, but I have a lot of favoritism towards the team because I've worked with them for so many years in the past, but I don't know, if for some reason Ducati just can't seem to hold together, or they have some kind of problem during the 200.
Well, we'll find out. When we come back, we'll talk to the guys who took home the #1 plate last year, Suzuki and Matt Mladin. Stay with us.
Why should you join Cox at Home's cable internet revolution?
It's amazingly fast, blindingly fast.
I like to think of it as the difference between running in quicksand and rollerblading.
I can get right on and I can get to what I need to get to.
I would recommend it to everybody. I can't imagine not having it.
Get the internet at speeds 100 times faster with Cox at Home today.
Call 877-209-0655 and save on installation of Cox at Home. Sign up online and save even more.
It's got more dogs, more breeds, more events than any other dog show on TV. 3 nights of coverage from England, over 25,000 dogs and 185 breeds, all competing for the top title in dogdom. Crufts 2000 continues tonight at 8, only on Animal Planet.
And 6, feel the burn, and 7, and up.
If you want to see the best NCAA tournament games in history, then don't miss ESPN Classics Tournament Time Warp. Catch basketball's biggest stars before they made it big. Jordan, Barkley, Malone, all playing for a national championship. Get warped with Tournament Time Warp. Starts tomorrow at 7, only on ESPN Classic. To get ESPN Classic and the greatest NCAA tournament games in history, call 1-800-CLASSIC today.
Welcome back to our Daytona 200 preview and qualifying show. And you know, Suzuki has only won the 200 once. That was back in 1988. Kevin Schwantz was on top. But in 1989, Jamie James won the championship. And it's been a long time since Suzuki could claim the #1 plate. But thanks to Matt Mladin last season, that's exactly where Matt and the team find themselves heading into the 2000 campaign.
But the outspoken Australian rider knows that the championship was won back in September, and the focus now has shifted to the upcoming season.
The party afterwards was good, and I guess thinking about it for a little while, it was a nice achievement and a nice thing to do. And but I guess it'll be sweeter next year if we can retain the #1. I think that'll probably be even better.
He returns aboard the thoroughly developed GSXR 750, but the #1 plate on the front of the bike is a target, and Mladin knows that defending it will be harder than winning it.
I have to admit, I think maybe Dougie Chandler done it there a couple of years ago. He retained the title. That's tough, very tough to do. And so that'll be a big achievement. Anyone that can do that has obviously got a good crew behind them, and in general, just a good setup. So that'll be interesting.
Joining Mladin is Aaron Yates, who rejoins Yoshimura Suzuki after a disappointing season last year with Kawasaki, and the Georgia native is looking forward to racing once again.
It runs a lot different. It's a lot faster than it was, and it handles really good. So, it's a good overall package, and I think, as you see, I mean, they won the championship last year, so. It's definitely a good bike, and that's where I want to be, is on a good bike, so that's why I'm back at Yoshimura.
After a year removed from the team, Yates is also looking forward to the laid-back Suzuki atmosphere where he flourished in the past.
Everything goes pretty easy around here, and that's what I like about it. It's real relaxed, and, you feel kind of, at home over here, so, that's one reason I'm back over here at Suzuki, too.
So after 3 years with Yosh, Matt Mladin will finally be riding with the #1 plate this season. However, there's still one win that has eluded him, and that's the Daytona 200. And after finishing so close last year, he's determined to win.
I guess thinking about what happened in '99 with Miguel and just missing out, it would definitely be a nice one to win, and that's what we'll set our targets on first, is getting set up for the year and trying to do just that, just 1/10 better than what we did in '99, at the 2000 200, and we'll see what happens.
Don Sakakura is the team manager over here at the Yoshimura Suzuki pits. And Don, you said it best just a minute ago, that near-miss win here a year ago really provides a lot of motivation for this season, doesn't it?
That and then our Superbike Championship from the '99 season. It's been a little while since the Yoshimura Suzuki team has won the AMA title, and it's motivated all the riders and the team. We're looking forward to the year.
How hard was 14 100s to sleep on an entire year?
After 200 miles, it's an heartbreaking experience, but it was a good race. We had a good weekend.
So you test, try to get things better on this machine for this year. Have you done it?
Yeah, we've done a lot of off-season testing this year, made some major refinements, and look forward to the year.
How about the riders? They ready to go?
Oh, yeah. We're all ready.
Well, if Matt Mladin, Aaron Yates, or Jason Pridmore should win the Daytona 200 this year, they will join Kevin Schwantz as only the second ever Suzuki rider to win the Daytona 200.
Well, when we've been mingling down in the pits this week, talking to all the crew members and the riders, you get around the Yoshimura Suzuki guys, and you feel like, you get the impression, they have some unfinished business from last year.
True, Marty. They came up, you know, what, a wheel length short of winning the Daytona 200. They've only won it one other time. You know, Matt Mladin, although he's downplayed it during the week, you know, he definitely wants to win the race.
Well, the championship is one thing. This race is another thing. Mladin, in his conversations with the media, as you said, he's downplayed it totally, saying, well, the race back in Australia doesn't get that much attention. But he's here in the States now, and the media crunch and the attention that it generates here in Daytona, you got to believe that in the back of his mind, he's also saying, I don't want to let this one get away.
Well, you know, Matt loves to count points, so, you know, he's going to go into the race. He wants to do the best he can, but the biggest thing is, you know, let's face it, the Daytona 200 generates the most press international-wise as far as racing in America, and it is the biggest race to win in America.
Well, when we come back, we'll zero our cameras in on qualifying. Who's going to take the pole for the 59th running of the Daytona 200? Well, if you don't turn the dial, you'll find out.
Introducing the first Suzuki ATV, available in your choice of manual or automatic transmission. The Quad Runner 500 and all-new Quad Master 500 with selectable 2- or 4-wheel drive. The choice is yours.
Welcome back to our Daytona 200 preview and qualifying show. And Thomas Stevens, I'm going to put you on the spot. You won the pole here back in 1990. Take us through what a rider's going through, because this is the first race out of the box. You've had all this winter to test. You've had all this time to think about it. Now you got to go out and give it your best shot. You basically get 2 chances at it, and that's it. What goes through your head and what churns in your stomach?
Well, a lot churns in your stomach, but as far as what's going through your head, you know, it's just being focused, and that's the main thing. You know, of course, testing, you get a lot of confidence coming in from, you know, your winter testing. Troy Bayliss went really well. So, you know, you just have to focus on trying to put together the perfect lap.
But you talked about the knots and the nervousness. Does that go away, though, once you're out on the bike and you get into the run?
Well, it does. And like I said, I never really personally got butterflies or nervous because I was a professional at what I did. You know, you've done it for so long in your life that it's not so much nervousness. It's just trying to focus all that adrenaline that's going through your body.
One mistake can mean the difference between being on the pole and being back in row number 2, really.
Well, exactly. And all it takes is one little bobble, and just, you know, next thing you know, you've lost the pole position.
Well, let's explain how qualifying works, because they split into 2 different groups based on your number plate. The even numbers go first, the odds go second. But consistency today was very good. The weather, the only cloud cover we had was down in turns 1 and 2 of the NASCAR 2.5-mile oval. And the temperature, though, was a factor.
True. Well, it's interesting to find out, you know, exactly how fast they're going to go out there today. you know, as far as with the temperature, whether it's going to hold them up a little bit or they're going to be able to go out there and break the track record.
Well, let's zero in on qualifying and show you what happened as we get ready for the Daytona 200. Let's pick up the action in the first group. The Vance & Hines Ducati, the number 88 of Troy Bayliss, and he really stood it on its ear in this lap.
True. Troy's just looking to put together a perfect lap to get that, you know, get that lap time and that pole position.
Remember, last year Anthony Gobert ran a lap of 1 minute 48.516 seconds. That's the record at over 118 miles an hour. And listen to him fly.
Yeah, Troy's just wringing the guts out of that Ducati right now, just trying to get everything he possibly can out of that bike, and he's using the draft right there.
That little bit of a toe would help as he would stop the clock at 1 minute 49.075 seconds. So that would be the mark to beat out of the first group. And you and I both thought that that would not hold up.
No, I didn't think it would hold up. You know, I thought that someone like Matt Mladin would come along and be able to, you know, bust that record.
Well, we would find out when the second group would come out to take the track at Daytona. Matt Mladin on his really hot lap. We thought this was going to be it, and then this big error.
Exactly. It looks like Matt just got in really, really hot in the chicane, and at the last second he decided, just no way I'm going to make it, and he just went straight and threw the lap away.
Smart move, though, from the standpoint he saved the bike, gave himself one more opportunity. He was 8/1000ths of a second behind Bayliss's time. Could he do it? So qualifying would come down to the final lap. Clock would run out shortly after the number 1 of Matt Mladin came across the line this time. He would have this final shot to pick up that 8/1000th of a second. And we were all wondering what's going through his mind.
Well, he's trying to make a perfect lap, and we're going to have to see how he comes out of turn 1. The key to look for right here is whether or not he gets wheel spin, because with wheel spin, you lose traction. Just a tiny little bit, but it looked pretty good.
But would he be thinking ahead to the chicane where he had the off just a few laps earlier? Would you be thinking about it?
Well, Marty, yes, it's going to play into the equation as far as the lap goes, so we'll just have to see. Although Matt Mladin, he's won a lot of pole positions in the past, he really wants this one.
You could see he was looking real smooth through this interior portion of the 3.56-mile layout at Daytona International Speedway. But the big question mark that we were all wondering was, would he be less aggressive or just as aggressive as he was prior when he had to take it off at the chicane? Now watch for the wheel spin here. If that bike wiggles a little bit, you'll know that the traction's not getting to the pavement.
Another key part right there. We're just watching and see. Oh, that's perfect. The thing's glued. Looks like it's on rails. The GSXR is working really well.
So now he's into the high banks, the 31-degree banking of NASCAR's turn 1 and 2, getting ready to head down the 3,000-foot straightaway on the backstretch. And your mind's wondering, is he thinking about the chicane?
Well, Matt Mladin, he is a tough competitor, and I think he's going to try to go for it, but we'll just have to see how the time winds out.
He comes through, hits the curb, clips it nicely. Was he too early? Was he too late on the brakes? Who knows? At this point, everybody was holding their breath, including Troy Bayliss. He had changed into street clothes, sitting on the wall in pit lane, wondering if his first appearance in AMA Superbike action was going to end up with a pole position at the Daytona 200. Down the straight, you see Mladin trying to get a late-minute tow, but it wasn't going to be enough as he stopped the clock at 149.5, which meant Troy Bayliss right there getting the hugs. He's on the left side of your screen, takes the pole for the 59th running of the Daytona 200. Dave Reef, our man in the pits, managed to catch up with him, and he was a very excited Australian.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, I don't think when Troy Bayliss came here, anybody thought this young man would sit on the pole in his first ever Daytona 200, but by 8/1000ths of a second, you've got the job done, man. Welcome to America.
Yeah, cheers. You know, I didn't wear my watch up here because I wanted that new one really bad, and you know, the team worked great. The Vance & Hines Ducati and the Dunlops are perfect, and the boys, you know, deserve everything they get, and hopefully I can finish the weekend up and do a good job for them.
Did you really feel like you could come here, a new place, and do this?
Well, I always in myself I think I can, but you know, that's how you got to feel. And I thought Matt and Nicky would have went a little bit faster, to tell you the truth, but you know, it turned out in my favour. So you know, I'm really happy.
And it's a second straight pole for the Vance & Hines team. This team really working good.
Yeah, no, it's a great team, and I'm proud to be over here, and you know, I'm very happy.
Let's go ahead and look forward to tomorrow now. What are you going to do tonight to get prepared?
Well, I'm just going to, I'll probably go out for dinner with a couple of friends that just come over, and I'll have an early night, and I really want to work on my race setup tomorrow. So, and I think, you know, the boys are keen as anything, so we'll be on it.
Good luck to you tomorrow, man.
All right, cheers.
That's Troy Bayliss. He's on the pole for tomorrow's Daytona 200.
The most anxiously awaited sport bike ever made. The Ninja ZX-12R.
The Pepsi 400 at Daytona International Speedway is NASCAR's 4th of July racing spectacular. Make your plans now to be at the world's center of racing. Winston Cup champion Dale Jarrett will defend his Pepsi 400 title, but he'll have to beat Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, and the rest of NASCAR's best. For tickets, call 904-253-RACE or visit our website, The Pepsi 400, Saturday night, July 1st.
The world's top pros are back with the drama, the thrills, and the passion of tennis on ESPN and ESPN2. This week, Tennis Masters Series, Indian Wells. Coverage begins Monday at 3 on ESPN.
Daytona Bike Week is brought to you by Kawasaki Motorcycles. Let the good times roll. And by Honda Motorcycles. Get great deals on customs and gold wings during the road to savings. So our starting grid is set for the 59th running of the Daytona 200. You can see all the action here on ESPN2, 5:30 Eastern Time, Sunday. Tune it in and turn it up because the noise is going to be deafening. Now, Thomas Stevens, going to put you on the spot a little bit. Who should be favored going into this year's race and why?
Well, that's a really good question, Marty, you know, because Ducati has a tradition of being on the pole and not being able to win the race. So, you know, if you're going to ask me really, put me on flat out on the spot.
Which I did.
And which you did. I'm going to go Matt Mladin. The guy's been fast in every session, and I think that, you know, he has the bike and the team to get the job done.
Well, it's going to be a very exciting race. We hope that you will join us for the 59th running of this great American classic. For Thomas Stevens and Dave Reef, I'm Marty Reed. We'll see you when we go racing here on ESPN's Speed World. presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Part of the Go Network. Go.com.
Want to fly?
Heart and soul, baby.
Championship week is next.
So what's on for today?
Boss wants you, me, and Charlie to take the new Silverado and move them bales.
Is that Charlie?
Chevy Silverado has the most powerful V8 of any 4x4 pickup.
Then we gotta water the herd.
300 horses make it more powerful.
If there's any daylight left, we'll take Norm up to see the ladies.
More powerful than Ford and Dodge. That's why it's the truck. Silverado from Chevy.
Well, guess that's enough for today.
The road is calling. So's the boulevard, the street.
The Superbike season kicks off the year with the biggest and most prestigious race, the Daytona 200. Last year, Honda's Miguel Duhamel, still limping from a broken leg, gutted out his third Daytona 200 victory, edging Suzuki's Matt Mladin by 14 one-thousandths of a second.
They come through NASCAR 3 and 4 and head for the tri-oval area. 17 is Duhamel, 66 is Mladin. The crowd is on its feet. He's going to try the high side is Mladin, but he will not get it done as Miguel Duhamel picks up his third win in the Daytona 200.
Ironically, Miguel broke the leg again last year and then pinched a nerve in his neck just 4 days ago. Can Duhamel suck it up one more time, or will Mladin get his revenge? We'll find out next on Speed World. Daytona International Speedway, a perfect day for racing in the conclusion of Bike Week 2000. We're here for the 59th running of the Daytona 200. Hello again, everybody. I'm Marty Reed, sitting alongside Thomas Stevens, the man who sat on the pole here in 1990 and is our road racing motorcycle expert. And Thomas, we've already mentioned the great battle last year between Miguel Duhamel and Matt Mladin. When it came time for qualifying, Mladin was in the mix. Duhamel was back a little bit, but all of a sudden there was a third name that shot to the top of the charts.
Troy Bayliss, the Vance and Hines Ducati rider. He really put together a great lap, put the thing on the pole. The team's really pumped. We'll have to see how things pan out today.
He did not break Anthony Gobert's record. He did run a 149.075, and Matt Mladin had one last shot at him, but missed by 8 one-thousandths of a second, giving Bayliss his first pole in his first run ever at Daytona. And that's where we find first of our two pit reporters, Dave Reef. He is with Troy Bayliss.
And Marty, it has been an incredible American road racing debut for the 1999 British Superbike champion Troy Bayliss. You're sitting on the pole, and I'll tell you what, you guys are really looking good. You must like Daytona well.
Yeah, you know, the Vance and Hines Ducati is a great bike, and they're a great team. It's on good Dunlop tyres, and you know, I've had a good run all weekend. I've had one little off, but you know, I was just getting the feel for the thing, and you know, I'm happy with how qualifying went. Made a few changes this morning to the bike, and I'm feeling really good on it. So we'll see how it turns out this afternoon.
Reliability is the question we got to ask every year. Can it go the distance this year, do you think?
Yeah, I'm quite confident the bike will go the distance. You know, I'll try and be as easy on as I can, but I'm sure the bike's good for it.
So it's your first Daytona 200, man. Are you nervous?
Yeah, I'm not always nervous, you know. I get so tired before the start, but you know, that's pretty normal for me.
He's had 72 hours to think about it, but today he will start the Daytona 200 from the pole.
Well, it will certainly be interesting to see if Troy Bayliss and or Steve Rapp can give Ducati their first win ever here in the Daytona 200. Let's shift gears a little bit, move over to Team Yamaha. Jamie Hacking, if you were with us for the preview show, you know that he went down early in practice, but Thomas, it got worse in the 600 Super Sport race.
It was real unfortunate right here. They came up on a lap rider. Jamie really didn't have a chance to set up. Falls down, takes Nicky Hayden with him, and then unbelievably, Josh Hayes runs in one of their bikes. It was pretty ugly, and Jamie wound up being hurt, broke his elbow.
Yeah, Jamie is not going to make it to this race. Now, you heard Thomas mention mention Nicky Hayden. Well, he is with the other member of our pit crew today, and that is Rick DeBrule, who's also got Miguel Duhamel alongside.
Well, standing by with the recovering Honda team, we want to start with Nicky Hayden. You were involved in that crash in the 600 race on Friday. We got to ask, how you feeling?
I feel all right. I'm a little bit sore, a little bit stiff on my back, but I've seen the chiropractor and got some of the soreness massaged out. So I'm sure when the race starts, I'll be fine, I hope.
First 200, you excited?
Yeah, I'm really excited. This is the biggest race of my life, and I've been working hard to get ready, and the team's done a great job to get the bike ready. So I think it's going to be good.
Now, Nicky's only had a couple days to get back into shape. Miguel Duhamel, he's had about 6 months to get back in shape. And let's talk about the recovery. Last year, you had what everybody called the miracle. You came back, you won this race. How you feel in this race?
I'm feeling a lot better. I mean, the leg's fully healed. Everything's looking really good on that part. Unfortunately, I got a bit of a muscle spasm in my neck this weekend and had to fly a chiropractor down from Montreal and had to go see one in Miami. And it cut a lot on our testing, but, you know, we caught up really well. So I guess the answer to the story there is that I'm feeling good.
Last year, you said the victory here surprised even you. Think you can do it again?
Well, yeah, I hope I can do it again. I mean, I definitely think I can do it again. I wouldn't probably be here if I didn't. So, yeah, I think we have the team, definitely. We have the bike. The RC51's working really great. So I'm looking forward to it. I tell you, it's not going to be easy.
All right, Miguel Duhamel looking forward to another surprise. Marty?
Well, I can tell you one thing. He's got a lot more movement in his neck than he did 4 days ago when he pinched that nerve. High up above, you can see Daytona International Speedway. A perfect day for this race. Let's take a look now at our starting grid on the pole and look at the difference there between Bayliss and Mladin. 8/1000th of a second. Also on the front row will be the 18-year-old from Owensboro, Kentucky.
Yeah, Nicky Hayden did a great job putting the Honda RC51 on the front row.
Biggest surprise in qualifying was Larry Pegram. On the Ducati, he came in 4th position. Then positions 5 through 14, 52 bikes in all. Miguel Duhamel still in some pain, came in 5th, and then on down through the list. Anybody there stand out?
Well, I mean, naturally, you'd have to give a shout-out for Scott Russell. He's won the thing 5 times. And then you have Trip Nobles here from Macon, Georgia. He's another Harley rider. Hopefully, those guys will be moving up through the field.
Well, the Harleys have definitely had their problems this week. We'll detail that as the race progresses. There you see the completion of our 52 bike field, the 112% rule in effect. If you couldn't go within 112% of the pole, you went home. Look at this crowd. It is really gone haywire here. We've got like 40,000 people in the stands. Stay with us. When we come back, it'll be the 59th running of the Daytona 200.
The 59th Daytona 200 is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Honda Motorcycles, get great deals on customs and gold wings during the road to savings. And by Kawasaki Motorcycles. Let the good times roll.
So what's on for today?
Boss wants you, me, and Charlie to take the new Silverado and move them bales.
Is that Charlie?
Chevy Silverado has the most powerful V8 of any 4x4 pickup.
Then we gotta water the herd.
300 horses make it more powerful.
If there's any daylight left, we'll take Norm up to see the ladies.
More powerful than Ford and Dodge. That's why it's the truck. Silverado from Chevy.
Well, guess that's enough for today.
The road is calling. So's the boulevard, the street. And your Honda dealer's got what you need to answer them. Honda Shadows with incredibly low monthly payments and no down payment. Like the Shadow Spirit, just $129 a month. It's the road to savings. And it's going on right now at your Honda dealer. Answer the call.
If you added up all the hours you've spent boring out cylinders, building strokers, and setting up suspension, you'd have graduated from MMI by now, and you'd be getting paid for doing what you love. Call 1-800-994-3664 to find out how you can become one of the best technicians in the world. Motorcycle Mechanics Institute.
Remember back when it didn't cost a lot to be the coolest kid on 2 wheels? Well, those days are back.
For a limited time, get a Yamaha V-Star from just $89 a month. It's the Yamaha Turn Back Time sales event. So see your Yamaha dealer today, because you won't find a deal this attractive anywhere else.
Back at Daytona International Speedway for the Daytona 200. And as we get ready for this race, you can see the bikes forming up. Let's take a look at the 3.56 mile layout here at the Speedway. Now, everybody knows that the banking, Thomas, is 31 degrees, except on the tri-oval where it's 18 degrees. And of course, the straightaway is 3,000 feet long. But the infield portion really becomes critical.
No doubt about it. There's a couple of interesting points. The International Horseshoe, the dog legs are a very good place, but turn 5 going onto the banking and the critical chicane off the back straightaway.
Well, for more on the chicane and turn 5, let's take a look at our Chevy track advantages. First up, Rick DeBrule.
Whether you call it turn 5 or just the transition, this is a crucial part of the track. Get it right, you are flying the speed down that backside. Get it wrong, you're playing catch it the whole way. So what's the secret? Really, there's two of them. The first part, the entryway right here. This flat section coming off the road course. It's bumpy, different kinds of asphalt. Make sure you're past the lap traffic before you get to this point. Then going up on the embankment. Get on the throttle smoothly. Too much wheel spin, you lose speed, and then you're flying. You got it made until you get to the chicane. For the second Chevy track advantage, let's go to Dave Reef.
Rick, it's a restrictor plate that NASCAR uses to tame speed as they get ready to enter NASCAR Turn 3. In motorcycle road racing, they call it a chicane, and it can be very, very tricky.